Welcome back to the channel, everybody, for Wednesday midweek racing this week from Mornington. Looks to be an absolute cracking card, and there's a few I'm quite keen on. A lot of favourites I'm tipping, but couple of each way value and one that's been very well backed. But let's get into the preview and find the winners, and I'm confident that I can bounce back off what's been a pretty disappointing few preview videos where I haven't tipped that many winners, but definitely think I can bounce back here and hopefully bounce back on Saturday as well. Race number 1 at Mornington is a 2-year-old handicap over the 1500 metres, and I'm with Uno Who here for Chris Waller and Damien Oliver. Drawn well in barrier number 5, has a Sydney form. And Chris Waller decides to change it up and bring it down to Melbourne. We're having the one run, and that's generally a recipe for success. One run, failure in Sydney, brings it to Melbourne, puts a senior jockey on, and it will win, and is wearing the Winx colours, so that'll put a few links on it as well. It does have a good jockey in Damien Oliver. Mojave Desert for second, obviously the one everyone's going to be on. Has a Flemington placing last start and was good to start before that, but it's a 3-start maiden for Waller, and has the top weight in Zach Spain rides. In my mind, Chris Waller would have put the best jockey on the best horse. He's put Zach Spain on Mojave Desert and Damien Oliver on Uno Who, and that's why I'm going with Uno Who. Axierto can run well for Blake Shin, Trent Buster and Natalie Young. Drawn well in barrier number 3 and has been well back to 550 from 7. And Salou, the one I thought could run a race at odds at $13. But not a betting race for mine. The first, only a 5-horse field. Race number 2 at Mornington is a Fillies and Mares benchmark 70 over the 2,000 metres, and I'm with Lady Court, clearly the one to beat for Billy Egan and Peter Moody. Drawn barrier 8, dominant win last start at Sandown by over 4 lengths in a 64, jumps up in grade to a 70, but does drop half a kilo and is dominantly, clearly the one I want to be with. Mystery Mum is the only one I can see beating her. Second up will be Improved, and should have won first up. Dropped significantly weight and jaws well for John Lake Jr. and W. Pin, and a counter on a race. Red Columbine, running well, but only winning the one this campaign, placing on two other occasions, though it does have Blake Shin with the 56 kilos, so will run well. And Flashmare is getting a bit long in the tooth for Sydney Alderson and Sydney also, but does have Carleen Hefel in the saddle with barrier 4 and the 58.5 kilos. But Lady Court, race 2, Mornington on top, 20 the win. Race number 3 at Mornington is a benchmark 78 for the Fillies and Mares over the 1,200 metres, and I'm with Rainbeel. Counting on her class getting her home here, but I think she can do so. Tested in a lot of good races last campaign, being a handicap behind Nicolini Vito, the Doveton Stakes behind Jigsaw, and then went to the dual choice behind Mince Moment. That's terrific form for a race like this, and looks ready to go off a convincing trial win, winning by 2 lengths behind Bold Hoy Ho. And I'm pretty confident it can win first up, and there has been a bit of money for it, $7.50 into $5. Asymmetrical, the other one, I think can take a bit of beating here for Blake Shin. First up off a 2-run campaign last preparation. A benchmark 78 behind I Am War, which was a good third placing, then went to Flemington in the Hong Kong Jockey Club Stakes and ran really well. Seonee, the hard fit horse, Throntari, will be charging home, but 35 to win Rainbiel, 10 to win on Asymmetrical, hoping that the class of Rainbiel can get her home, and if not, Asymmetrical, the other class running the race, should be winning. Race number 4 at Mornington is a benchmark 70 over the 1,600 metres, and I'm with Tropicone. Found it very hard to split Tropicone and Ferlazzo. I'm going with Tropicone, just comes out of the better race as came out of the Tobin Bronze 2 starts ago, and then ran behind Gina's Rome in a benchmark 70 at Flemington, running 5th, not beaten far over the 1,400 metres. Now stepping up to the 1,600 metres, should be well improved off that run, and I'm pretty confident back in grade here. Zach Spain aboard, barrier number 4, going forward is going to be very hard to beat. Ferlazzo, Damien Oliver back on board, should be running well. but took a while to break its maiden, though Damien Oliver back on board, like I said, is a huge positive. Regal Vow for Charlotte Littlefield and Jack Hill should be running well from barrier number 5. And Passiona, the one-start winner with an incredibly good CV, only being out of the money once for Luke Campbell, should be running well from barrier number 2 for Mara Eustace. But Tropicani just brings the best form, coming out of the best races, 15 the win, race for Mornington. Race number 5 at Mornington is a benchmark 70 handicap over the 1600 metres. My best bet of the whole day comes up here. Monarchs Brae for Damien Oliver and Chris Weller was a dominant win first up. Drops 3 kilos from that effort. Carried the 59.5 last start. Now only carries the 56.5. And Damien Oliver sticking with the horse. And I'm very, very confident it can win again. Soft track, no issue. Up to the mile. I just think it'll win. Sorry, Damien Oliver replacing Mickey D, my mistake. But I think this horse is a good thing on the card and should be winning. Delicious Tycoon for second. Good chance, I thought. Can run really well. Trained at Mornington locally by Matt Laurie. Bo Mertens takes ride. Third up, barrier 1, 55.5 kilos. Looks to be running well. The Nephew, probably the class runner of the race. Just a query where it's at, but was only first up the other day, and Billy Egan takes the ride, so good indicator there for Patrick Payne, barrier number 3. And Court Deep, if it's playing up and in, can run a race for Luke Campbell and the Mara Eustace team, but it's got to carry the big weight. But Monarchs Brae, Waller and Ollie will do it here, 40 the win. Race number 6 at Mornington is a benchmark 70 handicap over the 2,000 metres, and I'm with Blazing Revel. Bolted in last start at Cranbourne. I'm pretty sure it was Cranbourne. Yes, Cranbourne by over the 2,060 metres in a benchmark 70, winning by 5 lengths. Back to the 2,000 metres here, locally trained at Mornington, and I think that'll hold it in good stead here. Drawn wide, but I don't see that to be an issue. And I think it's clearly the one to beat. King Couver for second. Gregory going absolutely flying at this stage. Zach Spain aboard. Big win last up. It's got to back it up of 2 disappointing runs prior, but though does draw well. Brooklyn Boss can run well. Really consistent in this campaign for Geordie Childs. Does have barrier number 2. New Choice I thought was over the odds as well at $10. Fourth up. Could be ready to peak for Jamie barrier 7, but Blazing Rebel, 30 the win. It won by 5 lengths last start. I reckon it'll win by a bit further this start. I'm confident in his chances. Race number 7 at Mornington is a benchmark 64 handicap over the 1,200 metres, and Miss Icelandic on top. 2 from 2. Trained at Mornington. Matt Lloyd. Bo Mertens to ride. Bo rode it last start when it won at Cranbourne as a dominant favourite, winning by nearly 2 lengths on a soft 7 track, so the track is going to be no issue if it deteriorates any further. 2 from 2 at the distance, 2 from 2 overall, and I think it's going to make it 3 from 3, and I'm very, very, very confident in his chances. You don't know how good they are until they're beaten, and I think it'll etch another picket fence to the wire here, Miss Icelandic. Hellhound, the class runner of this field by a long way. Gets a little bit too far back for mine, but was really good first up and does come out of a good, strong form race. The Guava, third up, can run a race but draws wide. And Miss Russia has had the 3 starts for the 1 win, but was first up this campaign for Peter Moody and is looking to go back-to-back, and I think can do so and is a good chance. But Miss Icelandic will make it 3 from 3, race 7 Mornington, 25 the win. Race number 8 at Mornington is the benchmark 70 handicap over the 1,200, and I'm with Galleon on top for Ben and JD Hayes for Damien Oliver. Drawn barrier number 7, returns to racing as a gelding, and I'm pretty confident that it'll salute here. 2 from 2 at the distance of 1,200 metres. Good record on soft ground. Damien Oliver really has a good association with this horse and won a recent trial on him by 3.5 lengths, and I'm pretty confident that it can salute first up and is favourite for a reason, and I think will be saluting. Hardware Lane, Mitch Beer brings it south, and I think can pay dividends. $17 is over the odds for that, because it does have some consistent Sydney form. Twin Perfection for Philip Stokes, Gary Lowe will be running well, and Hesket, think it's under the odds at 480. I'd want at least 6 to back it. But Galleon on top, race 8, Mornington, 30 the win. D. Oliver to score the last winner. Thank you, everyone, for watching my preview for the Wednesday midweek meeting at Mornington this week. Good card for a midweek